Before we get into today's story, a quick note. Everything you're about to hear is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not financial advice, not investment guidance, not technical consulting of any kind. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your engineer. I'm just someone who digs deep into the stories behind the headlines. The information I'm sharing today is based on publicly available reporting, Tesla's own statements, investor calls, and industry analysis that's out there for anyone to find. Results in business and in robotics vary enormously depending on conditions, timelines, and 100 factors nobody can predict. So take this as a starting point for your own research, not an endpoint. Now, with that said, let's talk about what might be the biggest industrial bet of the 21st century. Imagine waking up one morning and deciding to spend $25 billion on something that has never worked at scale before. Not a car, not a battery, not a solar panel, a humanoid robot, a machine that walks on two legs, picks things up with 5-fingered hands, and does the work that humans do on a factory floor. That is the bet Tesla is making right now. And most people, scrolling past the headlines, have absolutely no idea how deep this goes. Welcome to Future EV Insider. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on Optimus, Tesla's humanoid robot program, because this is not just a product announcement. This is a $25 billion restructuring of how Tesla thinks about its own future. Let's start with some numbers that don't get enough attention. When Tesla talks about Optimus, they don't give you a volume target. They don't say we're going to sell 1 million robots. They don't say we're going to manufacture 50,000 in year one and ramp from there. They say something far more interesting. They frame the entire Optimus project as a manufacturing and deployment problem, not a sales problem. And that distinction matters more than almost anything else in this story. Because what Tesla is actually building is not a robot for your home. Not yet. What they're building first is a robot for their own factories. Think about that for a second. Tesla wants to use Optimus to build more Teslas. And then, if the robot works, to sell that same robot to other manufacturers, and then to the broader world. It's a flywheel strategy. Build the robot, use the robot, prove the robot, sell the robot, and use the revenue from selling the robot to build better robots. It's the same logic Tesla used with the Gigafactory. Build the machine that builds the machine. Elon Musk has said that phrase more than once, and people nod along without fully grasping what it means in the context of Optimus. Now, where does the $25 billion figure come from? This is a number that comes from Tesla's internal capital allocation discussions, referenced in various analyst reports and earnings-adjacent conversations. Tesla hasn't said publicly, explicitly, here is a $25 billion line item for Optimus. But when you add up what they're investing in AI training infrastructure, in the Dojo supercomputer, in the humanoid robotics team, in manufacturing tooling, and in the sheer labor cost of developing a robot from near scratch, the figures that analysts and insiders have cited put the scale of this commitment in that range over the coming years. This is not a side project. This is not a skunkworks experiment hidden in a corner of Fremont. This is a central strategic pillar of what Tesla believes it will become. And here's where it gets philosophically interesting, and why Future EV Insider wanted to dig into this story today. Tesla is making this bet without telling Wall Street how many robots it expects to sell. That is genuinely unusual behavior for a public company. Most CEOs love a volume target. It gives investors something to hold on to. It gives analysts a number to model. It gives the media a headline to chase. Tesla is deliberately not playing that game with Optimus. And there are a few reasons why. 1. The humanoid robotics space is so early stage that any volume target would be, at best, a guess, and at worst, a promise that could embarrass the company if production timelines slip, which they often do in hardware. Tesla has experienced this before with the Cybertruck, with the Semi, with the Model 3 ramp in 2017 and 2018, when Musk famously described production hell. So the company may be deliberately cautious about committing to numbers in a space where the variables are even more complex than building a car. 2. Tesla may actually believe the total addressable market is so large that any number they give you would sound absurd. Musk has talked about a world where there are eventually more humanoid robots than humans. He's floated numbers like 10 billion units as a long-run theoretical market. You can't put that in a 10K without people questioning your grip on reality, even if the logic behind it is internally coherent. So instead of a number, they give you a direction. The direction is, we're going all in. 3. Not announcing a volume target keeps competitors in the dark about Tesla's actual production ramp intentions. In a space where several serious players are now chasing the same prize, information asymmetry has real value. So who are those competitors? And how close are they really? This is the part of the story that most coverage gets wrong, because most coverage either dramatically overhypes the competition or dismisses it entirely. Let's be more precise. Boston Dynamics has been in the humanoid and legged robot space longer than almost anyone. Their Atlas robot is genuinely impressive from a raw capability standpoint, but Boston Dynamics has historically struggled to make robots that are cost-effective to manufacture at scale. Their robots have been engineering showpieces, extraordinary demonstrations of what's possible, but not production-ready systems priced for industrial deployment. Boston Dynamics was acquired by Hyundai in 2021, and there are signs the company is now being pushed harder toward commercial viability, but they're not there yet in the way Tesla is aiming to be. Figure AI is one of the more credibly funded startups in this space. They've raised significant capital, they've shown working prototypes, and they've attracted partnerships that suggest real industrial interest. But Figure is still early. Their robots are not yet doing meaningful unsupervised work in live manufacturing environments at any kind of scale. Agility Robotics, the company behind the Digit robot, has perhaps the most credible near-term industrial deployment story outside of Tesla. Digit has been piloted inside Amazon fulfillment centers. That is a meaningful proof point. But Agility is a smaller company with a narrower focus and a robot designed around a more specific set of warehouse tasks, rather than the general purpose vision that Tesla and others are chasing. Then there's 1X Technologies, backed in part by OpenAI money, and a range of Chinese companies, and including Unitree Robotics, that are producing humanoid hardware at costs that are surprisingly low by Western standards. Chinese manufacturers have demonstrated robots that can move convincingly and are priced in ranges that Western competitors find alarming when they do the math. But here's the thing that actually matters when you look at this competitive landscape. The bottleneck is not mechanical. It's not even electrical. The bottleneck is intelligence. And this is where Tesla's bet becomes genuinely interesting and genuinely different from everyone else. Tesla has been collecting real-world driving data from its fleet of consumer vehicles for over a decade. Millions of cars, billions of miles, an enormous corpus of sensor data about how the physical world looks and behaves in real time. Tesla has used that data to train the neural networks that power autopilot and full self-driving. And those same neural networks, that same training philosophy, that same end-to-end AI approach are being applied to Optimus. This is the hidden edge that most people don't discuss when they talk about the robot race. Building a robot that can walk is hard, but it's a solved problem in engineering terms. You can throw money at actuators, motors, and sensors, and eventually build something that doesn't fall over. Building a robot that can actually perceive its environment, reason about what it's seeing, and execute complex, multi-step tasks with sufficient reliability to be useful in an industrial setting. That is the genuinely hard part. And Tesla is betting that its AI infrastructure, built over a decade of autonomous vehicle development, gives it a meaningful head start on the intelligence layer of the problem. Now, how close is that intelligence to being reliable enough for real factory work? This is where we need to be honest and careful, because Tesla's own demonstrations of Optimus have shown both promise and limitation. The robot has improved noticeably from its first unveiling. Early versions were slow, tentative, and clearly operating under careful conditions. More recent demonstrations have shown Optimus performing tasks like sorting objects, folding laundry, and navigating environments with more fluency. Tesla has reported running Optimus units inside its Fremont factory doing actual work. Not demos, but real tasks in a real production environment. But the scale of that deployment is still modest, and the range of tasks they can reliably perform unsupervised is still narrow. The honest picture is, Optimus is past the proof of concept stage, but still well short of the industrial scale Tesla ultimately envisions. The gap between where Optimus is today and where it needs to be to meaningfully contribute to Tesla's manufacturing throughput is not trivial. It involves solving hard problems in perception, manipulation, reasoning, and reliability, and solving them in a way that can be replicated in hardware at volume. This brings us back to the factory plan, because the factory plan is arguably the most important and least understood part of the Optimus story. Tesla is not just designing a robot. Tesla is simultaneously designing the factory that will build the robot. This is the lesson Musk says he learned from the early struggles with Model 3 production. He's talked publicly about the importance of thinking about manufacturing as a product unto itself. The production line is not just infrastructure. It is itself a technology that can be optimized, that can be made more efficient, that can be iterated on. And for a humanoid robot, this is even more important than for a car. Because the part count on a robot, the tolerance requirements, the assembly complexity, it's all different from anything Tesla has built before. Tesla is reportedly designing Optimus with manufacturability as a first-class constraint. That means making design decisions driven not just by what makes the robot perform better, but by what makes the robot cheaper and faster to build. Fewer unique parts, more vertical integration of components, manufacturing processes that can be scaled without requiring an army of specialized technicians. This is the same philosophy that drove Tesla's decision to use large, single-piece castings, what they call giga press technology, in vehicle manufacturing. Rather than welding together dozens of smaller parts, Tesla casts large sections of the car's body in single pores of aluminum. It reduces complexity. It reduces potential failure points. It reduces labor. And Tesla is trying to bring that same instinct to robotics manufacturing. Whether it will work at the scale and speed Tesla hopes is genuinely unknown. But the logic is sound, and the ambition is clear. Here is the bigger pattern worth sitting with for a moment. And this is something Future EV Insider thinks about a lot when we cover these stories. The history of transformative technology is full of moments where a company made a bet that looked, from the outside, like it might be too big, too early, or simply too strange. Amazon bet on cloud computing at a time when most people thought of it as a server rental business. Apple bet on the iPhone when the conventional wisdom said people wouldn't pay that much for a phone and wouldn't want a keyboard that wasn't physical. Tesla itself bet on electric vehicles when analysts were writing think pieces about why batteries would never be good enough for mainstream adoption. In each of those cases, the bet looked irrational until suddenly it looked obvious, and the people who understood the bet early, not the hype, but the actual structural logic of what was being built, had a significant informational advantage. The bet Tesla is making with Optimus is not that humanoid robots are a cool product that consumers will want to buy. The bet is that general-purpose physical labor, the ability to do useful work in the world, will eventually be automated by machines that look and move like humans, because the world was built for humans. And a human-shaped machine can operate in that world with fewer modifications than any other design. That's not a crazy idea. It's actually a pretty logical idea. The question is whether Tesla can execute it, how long it will take, and whether they can get there before competitors do. Those questions don't have clean answers today, but they are the right questions to be asking. Before we close out today, a quick reminder about something important. Everything discussed in this video is drawn from publicly available reporting, analyst commentary, and Tesla's own communications. Robotics development is genuinely unpredictable. Timelines slip, technical challenges emerge, market conditions shift, and companies change direction. Nothing in this video should be taken as a guarantee of how any of this will unfold. If you're making any kind of financial or business decision related to any of the companies mentioned, please do your own research, consult qualified professionals, and proceed carefully. The future of humanoid robotics is genuinely exciting, but it is also genuinely uncertain. Be curious, be informed, and be cautious about anyone who tells you they know exactly how this plays out. If this story gave you something to think about, a new angle on what Tesla is actually doing with Optimus and why the lack of a volume target might actually be more interesting than any number they could give you, share it with someone who'd find it useful. These kinds of deeper dives take time to put together, and the best way to support that work is to get it in front of people who are genuinely curious about where technology is going. Subscribe to Future EV Insider for more stories like this one. We cover the technology underneath the headlines, the factory plans, the AI strategies, the competitive dynamics, and the bets that don't make the front page but might end up shaping the next decade. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. We have some stories in the pipeline that go even deeper on the AI layer behind Optimus and on what the Chinese robotics industry is doing that most Western observers still aren't fully tracking. Thanks for spending time with Future EV Insider today. See you in the next one.